Ben Belkıs Ertaşkın, Hannover Fairs Turkey Genel Müdür Yardımcısıyım. Bugün burada hep beraber dünyanın bir numaralı makine teknolojileri fuarı EMO Hannover ile ilgili size basın toplantımızı sunmak istiyoruz. Öncelikle hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz bugün bizlerle beraber olduğunuz için. Sizlere konuyla ilgili öncelikle Sayın Anika Hanım'ı takdim etmek istiyorum. Anika Hanım Genel Müdürümüz bizim Hannover Fairs Turkey'in. Sözü kendisine bırakıyorum. Anika Hanım buyurun.
So united, ladies and gentlemen, dear members of the press, welcome Mr. Schäfer, welcome Michael, and a warm welcome Hakan. I'm very happy having you here this morning and talking about EMO. It's all about EMO today. And I'm really looking forward to what to hear later on from Michael's and Mr. Schäfer's end with more details and to learn more about EMO. As Hannover Fairs Turkey's General Manager, Annika Klar, I would like to welcome all of you. Hoş geldiniz. But before jumping into the EMO topic, I would like to refer a little bit to the importance of trade fairs. So regardless the sector, regardless the industry we are in, exhibitions all over the world play a really important role in the growth of trade volume between countries, between companies. So exhibitions push global trade with new contacts, projects, collaborations, showcasing new trends, networking with stakeholders, and of course by selling products and finding new traders worldwide. Deutsche Messe AG plays an active role in the growth of global trade by bringing together manufacturers from all over the world at their exhibitions for right now 76 years. So it's crazy to say, but we are really an old company right now, 76 years. That's great, and we are contributing to the growth of business. So with more than 150 trade fairs worldwide, Deutsche Messe organizes every year and contributes significantly to the global economy. And we, as Hannover Fairs Turkey, we are part of the international exhibition market in Turkey already for 27 years. And we are supporting as well Turkish companies exhibiting at trade fairs all over the world, like for example EMO or like Hannover Messe in Hanover. So we are always happy to support the Turkish industry's expansion to the world and multiplying their success and growth. Dear guests, as you know, EMO, which will be held in Hanover from 18th to 23rd September 2023, will bring together the leading metal processing brands of the different countries. Important companies of Turkey also attend EMO since years. And here in Turkey, it's interesting to see the industry and the production is really growing day by day. Manufacturers are trying to increase their share in the international market tremendously, and they are trying this by taking part in several exhibitions worldwide. And this year, we have nearly 60 companies from Turkey exhibiting at EMO Hannover, and we will be very happy seeing them there. So EMO Hannover makes really a significant contribution to the growth of export of those Turkish metal processing industry companies. And the next generation machinery technologies are introduced at the exhibition by the Turkish companies, and they will show what they can do, what kind of new products they are offering. And for example, we have companies like Tesraksan, Dena Makina, Etasis Electronic, and Fan Makina with us, and of course many others. Dear guests, as you know, the relations between Turkey and Germany in terms of production and trade have been good since years, for a long time. And therefore, positive results are obtained in exports. With the influence of this relation, EMO Hannover plays an important role in the future investment decisions of Turkish machine tool manufacturers and in the new steps they will take. During the exhibition, Turkish manufacturers will meet with the market and close new business deals. Of course, contributing to such an efficiency makes us as Hannover Fairs Turkey very happy. And the Turkish industry, you could feel it at the shows we were hosting last week and you can feel it at EMO then as well. The Turkish industry has really a strong structure. Despite the crisis and difficulties in the world, it continues production without slowing down. Even during pandemic, the production even increased. It is amazing to witness how manufacturers work without giving up, despite those precision concerns, logistic problems, and sectoral challenges we all have. I want to thank all the presidents of the associations, the members of the press, and especially to our exhibitors who will join us for EMO Hannover this year. And thank you for your participation. Thanks a lot.
Şimdi sizlere huzurunuzda konuşmalarını yapmak üzere BDV'nin yönetici direktörü Sayın Wilfried Schäfer'i davet ediyorum. Wilfried Bey, buyurun.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to our EMO tour, which is today making its stop in Istanbul, in Turkey. This is our almost last destination. We have been traveling throughout the world to 40 press conferences in presence and 20 digital, because it's of great importance for a trade show like EMO to get in touch with the media internationally, to communicate the upcoming event, so to make sure that we have a good participation from the customer side. As mentioned, my name is Wilfried Schäfer. I'm the General Director of VDW, the German Machine Tool Builders Association. We take care of the needs of our industry in Germany, but also in Europe and internationally, offering various services to this small and more medium-sized industry, because they don't have so much staff for all the general topics like market research, statistics, and standardization. But at the same time, we are also trade show organizer for national shows. And our main event, which we organize, is the EMO in Hannover, being the world leading show for production technology, taking place this September, as already mentioned. So EMO showcases the state-of-the-art of production technology, but it also picks up trends which are on the horizon, and I think this is of great importance also for the customers, for the investors, to take these upcoming developments into account when they are planning their further investments. And I think therefore also for the Turkish production industry and the specialists out of this industry, it's of great importance to be in Hannover this September and to see what is coming up in the various product areas. The Turkish economy is one of the 20 largest in the world and is currently facing major challenges, I think similar as other regions in Europe as well. So the growth rates from the beginning of the 2010s are no longer being matched. So key sales markets like the US or Europe are experiencing economic downturns at the moment. And also the high level of inflation is posing risks to the industry here in Turkey. So therefore the economic researchers have the perspective of a small increase of the gross domestic product in this year of just under 1%, which is still positive. As you may have seen that in Germany, in the first 2 quarters of this year, we had negative domestic growth rates, so we are called to be in a recession already. But for next year, the economy in Turkey is foreseen to have a growth rate of 2.6%, so it's an upswing again. We all hope that this will happen, and which is driving industry and production as well. Oxford Economics, the forecasting partner of VW for market research and forecasting, is expecting investments of 3 billion euros from the various customer industry in Turkey. The majority of this investments is going into the automotive industry, as you can see here, but also the other industries like metal production and electronics, other means of transportation and aerospace on the screen, and therefore all these projects and to realize all these investments and projects, up-to-date technology is requested, and we therefore think that EMO Hannover is the right place for the Turkish investors, representatives of government and institutions to be informed about latest developments in production. Since the 1970s, EMO Hannover is highlighting the developments of production technology in the various customer segments, most of them just mentioned. Every 2 years it brings together the who is who of producers in production technology around the world, 2/3 of them international. So you can see it gives the whole perspective of products in the various ranges of production technology in one spot. So the customers are informing themselves not only about individual machines and systems, but also about total production lines, because EMO Hannover is showcasing the whole value chain for production, starting from software, CAD, CAM systems, down to the machines, controls and drives, also automation, of course tooling, and finally quality measurement systems to realize the quality of the production in process and post-process. So therefore, in 2019 we were able to welcome just over 3,000 experts from Turkey in Hannover, which was the third largest visitor group internationally, just after Italy and China. In total, we welcomed 117,000 visitors in 2019, 51% of these internationally. So also this is a very important aspect for the exhibitors to meet customers around the world in Hannover, not just from Germany or Europe. This is a great aspect of EMO being the world's leading show. From our perspective, production functions as an enabler, introducing new technologies into the systems, and as a driver of technical progress in production. With these, it has to fulfill the major demands of our customers, which is productivity, flexibility, and quality. We are talking about digitization already since some years, Industry 4.0, IoT, you name it. But digitization is not functioning on its own in the perspective of production. So the functions out of digital means, out of data, have to boost these three major demands of productivity, flexibility, and quality. So if you have the aspect of predictive maintenance, it increases or it reduces the downtime of a system, and therefore increases productivity, to just give you an example. So digitization is always connected to these major topics within production. And today, of course, we have to take into account sustainability in production. It's a major demand coming up and in discussion, but I will come back to this later on in my presentation. But today, it's not just about machines being higher, faster, and further. Other technical requirements coming up, social requirements and developments influencing the industry and increasing the level of volatility and also complexity of doing business. So therefore, it is important that production technology delivers solutions in this environment with more flexibility due to a reduction of batch sizes, shorter product lifetimes, and also changing B2B customer demands as well as B2C customer demands. And from this perspective, it's not only the technical aspect, it's also the aspect of new political priorities as well as new laws. Just mentioning the Green Deal in Europe, which will influence directly or indirectly production technology and industry tremendously. And therefore, we have created our new claim, Innovate Manufacturing, to pick up all these requirements, addressing the exhibitors to find and present new solutions, new products, which fulfill the demands of our customers in the present and upcoming environment, but also addressing the customers to go in depth into the possibilities, technical abilities that are on the table to invest with looking into the future in the upcoming projects, but also to think about upgrading the already existing production lines in terms of, for example, sustainability, digitization, or automation. All this is possible at EMO Hannover because, as already mentioned just at the beginning, the trade show in presence gives the possibility to get in dialogue with suppliers, with producers, with researchers, because academia is also present at EMO, to find solutions depending on the demand of each project in person, because these are complex aspects where we have learned in the last 2 years which cannot be solved just in digital communication. And therefore we expect a strong participation and also a very fruitful discussion between the customer side as well as the producer side at EMO in September. But we also see some major requirements, as I already mentioned, in society, but also in technical developments, and we wanted to address these with our so-called future insights. The first future insight is the future of business. This focuses more on strategic, organizational, methodological aspects rather than on technical aspects, upgrading machines or things like this. So it's all about, let's say, new markets. Here we also will have a half-a-day seminar, offering a half-a-day seminar about the possibilities of making business producing in India with partners from India and partners from Europe who have already production sites in India. It's about new business models. One example is paper part, for example. All these aspects are presented and also discussed at EMO in September, but also introducing new methods, agile methods in product planning, product design, which also gives an increase in efficiency and maximizes the opportunities for a better business. And a very just present aspect is mobile working. We have been all working at home during the pandemic, but after the pandemic, it's not gone. It's in present discussion in all aspects of society and industry, also in our industry. But here, companies have a problem because in production, maybe only one part of the staff is able to have also mobile working parts in their weekly work, but in production and assembly it's impossible. So this is a very severe discussion, also led by unions at the moment in the industry, and also therefore we have 2 seminar days focusing on these aspects of organizing, let's say, production or industry aspects with the background of mobile working and the possibilities to digitize some topics here. Another aspect looking into this field of future of business is, of course, the skills, the demand for skilled workforce. This is not only a question in Turkey, as I also learned today, this morning. It's a topic that is relevant all over the world, very importantly in Europe and in Germany. And it's not only focusing on the question of we need IT engineers. We are discussing this since we are discussing IoT in the field of production. But it's also about skilled workforce in on the shop floor, in production, in assembly, in service. And there's an even larger demand at the moment than in the field of IT specialists. Because we have to get the machines produced and we have to get the machines to the customer. That's of great importance. And therefore, we will also have a special booth at EMO addressing vocational training, skills and upskilling together with various partners from university and from industry, offering content and methods and tools to address these aspects of skills and vocational training, focusing on the present demand of content, for example, automation, digitization, cybersecurity. All these aspects must be discussed not only on the academia level, but down to the shop floor. All the people in the value chain have to understand them to have an effective input into their work. So also here we invite, of course, Turkish partners in the field of education to be present, and we also invite Turkish management, HR specialists to come to EMO and discuss this topic on an international perspective. The second future insight is the future of connectivity, bringing together all aspects of IoT, or IIoT if you look into industry, which is new business models, predictive maintenance, which I already mentioned, machine learning, artificial intelligence, virtual reality. All these aspects are going to be presented at EMO, and it's of great importance to communicate this to the small and medium-sized customer segments which are not really yet arrived in the field of IoT. Why is this the case? Of course, when we talk about IoT, we talk about connectivity. And there we have these two aspects, the vertical connectivity from the shop floor to the IT structure, and the horizontal connectivity along the value chain from the supplies to the production to the customer. For example, the digital twin is an aspect which is discussed here very intensively. These aspects are going to be picked up at EMO. On one side, we have a special booth on this, where academia as well as companies present solutions in this overall field of connectivity. But we also have dedicated a specific area of exhibits. You know, the EMO is structured in products. There's a hall for turning machines, there's a hall for measurement devices and so on. So we also have a product range, IoT in production, where companies can present their solutions in this field of technology. But discussing Industry 4.0 and discussing connectivity, we have to realize that solutions which have been realized, which are there, are mainly based on proprietary solutions. So as we know, not each and every IT can talk to each other, not each and every controller can talk to each other. So Fuara will not talk to Siemens, and Siemens not to Einstein, and all these things. So we have, when we have solutions, we have mainly proprietary solutions. And to really boost IoT and connectivity, it is of utmost importance to have an open interface standard for communication in production. Industry in the field of machinery in general is working on this since 2008. So at the moment, about 50 international joint working groups are defining this global language for production in the various fields of technology. So it's not only machine tools, it's woodworking, plastic machinery, printing machinery, laser, additive manufacturing, robotics, and so on. So 50 groups are working. Most of them are already finalizing their first standards. This is the vertical perspective. But there are also questions which are independent from technology. So there's also horizontal layers of this standard for communication. We are just working on one, which is energy management in production, and also job management. So these two standards are in development. We hope that the question of energy monitoring could be finalized at EMO. To communicate this, because OPC UA, which is the standardization base for these language descriptions, is a standard as usual. It's a piece of paper, open communicated. We therefore created a brand and a community called UMATI, Universal Machine Technology Interface, where those companies internationally who are interested to integrate, to communicate, to exchange views on this are coming together. Meanwhile, we have more than 300 partners worldwide, this is increasing very intensively in the last years. It was slowing down during the pandemic because we could not internationally communicate, but now it's increasing very intensively because we show how this open standard is working. We have been running live showcases all over the world in the last 18 months in Korea, China, Japan, US, and also, of course, in Europe. And it's not only focused on machine tools anymore, because we have to take into account the viewpoint of the customer. The customer is not only running a machine who he wants to monitor, he's running a production line with robots, automation, industrial vision systems, cleaning, whatever. If you look at mold and die, he might even have a plastic insertion press to have some testing, and he wants to monitor the whole production line in his facility. And in 2019, for the first time, because we had very fast the first standard, OPC-based standard for machine tools, we could show by connecting 100 machines on the fairground in Hannover with 24 IT systems that OPC UA's communication is working. But as there are meanwhile more standards finalized and available and integrated in this UMATI dashboard, we will show at EMO this year also a live demonstration incorporating all technologies that are available on the fairground, which is measurement devices, automation, industrial vision systems, machine tools, and so on and so forth. So this will be, I think, the next great step, demonstrating that such a open standard is possible to lead into plug and play in production technology. I already mentioned automation is a great aspect at the moment. It's increasing internationally due to the demand for more flexibility on one side, but also to the lack of workforce, as already mentioned. And therefore, it has always been a product range at EMO, because handling the tooling, handling the workpieces is a classical aspect within production. But in the last years, the technology of collaborative robots has been coming up, and has seen a lot of applications, and therefore we have created a new area, which is the cobot solution area. Here, companies are presenting applications with the use of cobots in the field of quality systems, measurement, assembly, welding, or others. So this is, I think, a very interesting new exhibition topic, and surrounded to this special area, the major producers of cobots have already signed up and will exhibit their cobots themselves, which is Universal Robots, ABB, Fanuc, KUKA, and others. So this will be a new technology perspective at EMO 23. Talking about innovative manufacturing, our new claim, it's also, of course, important to invite the startup scene at EMO, startups that in the overall perspective are focusing on production or the production environment. May it be digital solutions, software solutions, new sensor systems, new devices. There are a lot of possibilities. In 2019, we could welcome around about 50 startups, and also this year we already have a good reaction on this offer. It is a little different. We have a special prize for startups, for these young companies to be able to participate in terms of a full package that they just step in and present their solutions. And also because sometimes it's not a question of money, sometimes it's a question of personal capacity, because they are small staff groups, and sometimes it's a tough question for them to step in with 2 or 3 people for a whole week, and therefore we offer these startups also the possibility to participate only for 3 days. So the first half of the week or the second half of the week, so we have rotating booths here, and also this is something which is picked up by these startups. They can step in, address customers, address possible partners at the show, because not only the visitors coming in, also the exhibitors are all possible investors and partners for these startups. That's very interesting. And for the international perspective, because we see that there are major startup hubs worldwide, in Asia, in the Americas, but of course also in Turkey, Israel, in other regions. We, for the first time, and only for this startup area, we offer a full 3D digital fair for startups. So it's based on a gaming technology. So you have a 3D hall with startup booths digitally, with avatars for the digital visitors as well as for the exhibitors representing the startups. You can go in direct chat communication via video calls between these avatars. The representatives of the startups can have their speeches in a digital environment which is streamed into the fairground, so also the real visitors and interested customers could get in contact with these digital presentations and the other way around. So we will see if this is going to be picked up so that we can address international startups who are not able to travel to Hannover and to be present there and show their solutions. And the third future insight is the future of sustainability in production. I already mentioned this in the beginning. I think we all are aware of the demand for sustainability out of the climate changes and the effects of the climate changes we are seeing internationally around the world. And therefore it is of great importance that if the rethinking of production technology is to be successful, sustainability has really to be taken into account very early, in very early stages of the investment and planning of production itself. So it's all about not only energy efficiency, it's about waste heat recovery, integration of renewable energy sources, energy and material efficiency, the use of economical use of water, cooling, lubricants and packaging. So all these aspects, and there are even more, have to be taken into account when designing a more sustainable perspective in production and in industry. Besides the individual presentations of the exhibitors, and I was very astonished being at Jimtov last year. The three major producers for machine tools have really highlighted the topic of energy efficiency, and we're talking about a show in Japan and not a show with a Green Deal in Europe. So you can see that the topic is really relevant and being picked up from an international perspective in all areas in the world. And in addition to the individual exhibitors showcasing solutions in this direction, we also set up a special booth where companies as well as researchers are presenting their ideas for more sustainability in production, and there will also be a speakers forum where these things are being discussed and presented. This is the overview of the more, let's say, topics that we mainly address at EMO from the perspective of the market, the consumption of machine tools in Turkey, which is an indicator for growth, as we can see here, has been picking up after the slowdown 2019, since 2021 already to 1.5 billion euros. The production itself in Turkey is around about 707 million euros in 2021, which with a strong export ratio, and of course, as we can see, not the whole demand of machine tools in Turkey is being produced itself, especially with this export ratio. So there's a strong import, which is has also picked up tremendously from our perspective, which is not the case in other major European as well as international industrial countries, but it has been picking up tremendously in 2021 to 1.3 billion euros. Main suppliers are Taiwan, China, Germany, and Japan and Italy. All these suppliers are present at EMO. At the moment, we are able to welcome 1,700 exhibitors. We are still receiving applications in all fields. A very impressive aspect was that, and you can see it here, that after the stop of the zero COVID policy in China, within 6 months we received about 100 applications just from China. And so for the first time, China is the second largest exhibitor country in terms of number of exhibitors, not in terms of square meters, and has overtaken Italy, which used to be for years the second largest country with presenting exhibitors. From Turkey, we are able to welcome 55 companies at the moment. Hopefully, after our presentation and communication from your side, we will receive some more. There's still some space left, and so we are happy to welcome them. I'm happy to answer your questions afterwards. So thank you for your attention, and I will hand over to my colleague, Michael. Also with this QR code, you can download all the material.
Önemli bilgiye ulaştı. Hem EMO 2023 hem de aynı zamanda dünya takım tezgahları sektöründe. Şimdi Sayın Michael Rose, Deutsche Messe Protokol ve Yeni Fuarlar Müdürümüz sizlere birkaç sözle hitap edecekler. Teşekkür ederiz.
Thank you so much, Belkis, Annika, Wilfried, Hakan, ladies and gentlemen, dear representatives from the press. Also, sunny and warm welcome from my side. Today it's really great to see you all here today and to have the chance to inform you about EMO and about this big trade fair show in September. While Wilfried, as you have heard, represents EMO as a fair with all its contents and all its exhibitors, I'm here today representing Deutsche Messe AG. This is a fairground where EMO takes place, and to inform you a little bit about Hannover, the city that hosts EMO. In Hannover, on our fairground, we run about 50 shows every year. Annika, you said it's 150 in total. If you also add the international fairs, but 50 fairs we run over the year in Hannover. And among our several fairs, indeed, EMO is a very special one and a different one. Since more than 45 years, EMO is taking place in Hannover, and it is a tremendous success story in all terms. It really is one of the most significant industrial shows in the world. EMO is so special for us in Hannover as this fair more than any other fair complements and completes our own portfolio. By traditions, the fairs in Hannover have a focus on industrial production and on manufacturing. The first fair in Germany after World War II took place in Hannover in 1947, and it was the Hannover Messe, and this fair also already from its very beginning was a fair as EMO dedicated on industrial production, on automation and on manufacturing. Over the decades, we have achieved a profound understanding what industry fairs are about. So Hannover has a tradition in fairs dedicated to capital goods, to B2B, oh that's very kind of you, to capital goods, to B2B, to digital transformation, and of course to industrial production. This is more or less the profile we also have with our fairs in Turkey, with the wind industrial show, with Sodex and so far. Often our shows in Germany are being described as being the barometer of the German and the European industry, and we will continue to fill this role also in the future. Agritechnica is more for the agricultural machinery, the IAA for commercial vehicles and transportation, and of course Igna more for woodworking and for wood processing, maybe some brands that you also know here in Turkey. Of course, Domatex on floor covering also is famous and even takes place here in Istanbul. So indeed, it is no coincidence that the term and the expression Industry 4.0 came up and was born 12 years ago in 2011 in Hannover. It was for the first time presented to the world in Hannover, described by a joint effort from scientists, from economics, and of course from the industry. Over the next few minutes, I would like to give you a brief overview, of course, about our city of Hannover, our fairgrounds, and of course about the key trends we see in general in the industry and we see in our own industry. Dr. Schäfer already mentioned that there are three major trends that we are currently identifying as being a strong catalyst for innovation in all industries. This applies to metalworking sector as well as also to our fairground and to our event business. First of all, of course, it's a topic of digitization. Digitization continues to change all value chains and all business models. You all know that this will continue to be the case also in the future. This year, for example, at the shows that already took place in Hannover, it was absolutely exciting to see how the VR and AR glasses have found their way into industrial production. Never before have so many applications for virtual reality, augmented reality been shown and exposed on our shows. VR glasses presented by Apple 2 weeks or 1 week ago for sure will give another further boost to this development. Also, artificial intelligence will permanently change our industrial processes. We see it on our fairs. And this year in the Hannover Messe, we saw for the first time how quantum computers are changing production. Simulations on quantum computers enabled significantly better results in welding and in lasering in high complex applications, live on our fairgrounds. In view of the rapid development of mobility communications, of mobile communications toward the 5G standard, digitization is currently being supplemented by the topic of connectivity. Briefly, the Schäfer spoke about it, so we see this as a second major driver in our industries. And in view of the increasingly far-reaching discussions about climate change, another trend in Germany and all over the world, it's not only a trend, but it's a total game changer. This is the subject of sustainability. Many companies underline that the topic of sustainability has become a strong driver for the innovations in the various sectors, and most exhibitors see sustainability really as an opportunity for innovation. But let's talk about Hannover first. Some impressions about Hannover, and of course in a city of millions and an international megacity like Istanbul, a city with only 500,000 inhabitants like Hannover naturally becomes modest, but still Hannover and its surrounding area are among the large metropolitan areas in Germany. More than 1 million people live and work here. You probably also know Volkswagen, of course, and Continental, but maybe you don't know that they have both their headquarters in Hannover. And due to the long history of global trade fairs, Deutsche Messe celebrated its 75th anniversary last year. The city is known for its open-mindedness and, of course, of its international character. Hannover, by the way, is the first major city in Germany that has a Turkish Lord Mayor, and this maybe also is an indicator and shows how our welcoming culture and openness is in Hannover. Because of the many international trade fairs, and especially because of the World Exhibition Expo 2000 that took place in Hannover, local transport network, the infrastructure in general are excellently developed in Hannover. By train or plane, you can reach all important European cities easily from Hannover, and direct flights connect Hannover to the international hubs of Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Milan, Frankfurt, Munich, and of course also at least one daily flight from Istanbul. Let me briefly give you some facts about Deutsche Messe AG, about my company. We have around 600 employees, and Deutsche Messe is one of the world's leading trade fair organizers. In Hannover, we operate, maybe the Chinese have also now in terms of size something similar, but we still have one of the largest exhibition grounds in the world. There are 25 halls. Most of them are very individual, architectured, and we have since 5 years a new and very modern conference center which is available to to our exhibitors and has a capacity for more than 1,500 people in one single room. The total area occupies close to 1 million square meters. This is really big, and this is the size of 130 football pitches. The exhibition halls are built to the highest industrial standards, and one specific thing in Hannover also is that the trade fairs in Hannover also always are very political trade fairs. Not only the technologies and the innovations of major industries are presented, but they always also are a platform for discussing the political framework, conditions, social developments triggered by technologies and political agreements on international corporations. The most important company leaders in their respective industries always meet the most important politicians on our trade fair shows. We saw it also in the film that, for instance, Barack Obama, Mr. Erdogan 3 times had been in Hannover on our fairs, and the presidents and heads government from France, from Mexico, Indonesia, India, Poland, Sweden, China, they all have visited Hannover within the last 15 years. Each time significant contracts and collaborations were agreed, and as I said, Turkey, we have a very special relation with Turkey, as Deutsche Messe AG was already 3 times partner country and at one of our big shows in the past 10 years, and no other country had been so often spotlighted on our fairs. When I spoke at the beginning about the 3 major trends in our industries, this applies, of course, also to us as an operator of such fairs. Take the topic, for example, of digitization. For more than 20 years now, we at Deutsche Messe AG are working really hard to digitize the trade show industry. We fundamentally believe, and not only due to Corona and due to the pandemic, that digital applications are not a competitor for our business, but they are a useful addition. Digital applications make trade fair shows more efficient and even more valuable for the exhibitors and for the visitors. So we invest in a wide range of applications to improve customers' journey, and for instance, matchmaking apps, lead tracking, lead management apps, networking apps, and ticketing systems that can be directly connected to the CRM of our clients are a kind of a service, and the services we are offering to our exhibitors. This also is the reason why we have implemented so quickly a digital event after and during the pandemics, and as early as 2020, for example, we hold the first Hannover Messe totally digitally on our fairgrounds. So we have created excellent conditions for high quality digital and hybrid formats on the fairgrounds, and in our own pavilion, dedicated pavilion, we have a big media lab and an event studio especially for this purpose. We are at the same time the first trade fair company in Europe that has a fully equipped 5G campus and 5G network to allow all these connectivity applications to our exhibitors. So really low latency and data security, closed environment can be offered to our exhibitors, and we can showcase large-scale field trials, for instance, autonomous driving on our fairgrounds, but of course exhibitors can use the network to demonstrate the full range and capabilities of their connected machines. The third major trend also was quoted already, is for us sustainability, and you will recall that this is a very important pillar for EMO this year, but we are noticing really a dramatical change in our customers' demand, so they want to have answers how we, our for many of our exhibitors in their priority list, this is number 1 or number 2. As a company, we contribute actively, so we have the clear defined goal that we want to be CO2 neutral by 2035 as a company, so we don't have much time left. But we already started some years ago. For a long time now, we are using green electricity throughout the exhibition center, and this is particularly interesting also for EMO, because their live operations mean that significantly more electricity is used than at other shows. EMO indeed is a big energy consumer. We are offering resource-saving energy to all our exhibitors. So we love also to become a sustainable company. It is a great and inspiring purpose for all of our employees, but we think that we can do even more. We believe that our fairs also are a powerful platform to showcase sustainable solutions. Our trade fairs will facilitate and accelerate the adoption of solutions and products that will help to make our planet a better place. As I said, Turkey, Germany, we have excellent relations ever since. We look forward to welcome you all in Hannover. We think that Turkey has a lot to show, not only at EMO, but Turkey is being discussed a lot in Germany and on our fairs with its great economic potential in the field of renewable energies and about green hydrogen. This is also a continuous topic on our fair. So we look forward to welcome all of you in Hannover in September. Thank you for your attention.
Sayın Boza'ya çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Ev sahibi gözünden bize Hannover'i anlattı. Biraz önce EMO'yu detaylı dinledik zaten ve aynı zamanda sizlere EMO katılımcılarımızdan bir tanesi olan Tezmaksan AŞ'den de biraz söz verip Sayın Hakan Aydoğdu'ya biraz bilgi almak istiyoruz. Hakan Bey, hoş geldiniz.
Günaydın. Hanik Hanım'a, Doktor Şafir'e, Bay Nihal'e konuşmalar için hem de nazik davetler için çok teşekkür ediyorum. Yenilikler, önemli tanışmalar ve yeni iş ortaklıkları için bir zirve olma görevini üstlenen Uluslararası Takım Tezgahları Fuarı, EMO 2023'ün basın toplantısında sizlere bir arada olmaktan gurur duyuyorum. Kıymetli misafirler, 18-23 Eylül tarihleri arasında sektör paydaşlarını bir araya getirecek dünyanın en büyük takım tezgahları fuarı olan EMO Hannover 2023 ötesinde bugün bir arada olmak çok değerli. Nitekim benden önce söz hakkı alan saygıdeğer genel müdür ve direktörlerimizin de belirttiği üzere sanayi ve üretim teknolojisi arasındaki en önemli bağlantılardan biri olmaya da devam eden EMO Fuarı, yenilikçi üretim başlığı adı altında bu yılda sektörümüzün değerli katılımcıları için yeni fırsatlar sunacak. Yenilikçi üretim başlığı fuarın bu ilk odaklanacağı konular ve geleceğe ışık tutması bakımından son derece bağlantılı. Çünkü bu sayede geleceğe yönelik öngörüleri fuar öncesinde ve sonrasında imalat endüstrileriyle ilgili alanlardaki uzmanlardan sürekli olarak öğrenme şansı yakalayacağız. Bu da sanayicinin gelecek vizyonunu ve üretimde sürdürülebilirliğin geleceğe adına kilit rol oynayacak. Makine ve endüstriyel otomasyon sektörünün temsilcileri olarak EMO Hannover fuarını heyecanla bekliyoruz. Fuarda bir yandan yeni üretim sistemleri ve ürünlerimizin görücüye çıkma fırsatını yakalarken, diğer yandan da dünyanın dört bir yanından gelen üreticilerin sektörümüze kattıkları yenilikleri inceleme fırsatı bulacağız. Modern rekabetçi bir sanayinin vazgeçilmezi olan verimliliğe daha çok ihtiyacımız olan bugün, EMO Hannover sayesinde tanışacağımız ve dijitalleşme yolunda öncümüz olacak teknolojilerle daha anlamlı. Sanayicimizin küreseldeki güçlü rekabeti için fuarların sunduğu fırsatlar bize umut vaat ediyor. Biz de Tezmaksan olarak bu iki fuarda geçtiğimiz yıldan bu yana ihracatını gerçekleştirdiğimiz robotlu otomasyon sistemimiz CubeMax'ın en yeni versiyonlarını tanıtacağız. Aynı zamanda dünyada sadece 5 ülkenin üretebildiği 5 eksenli makineler için palet sisteminin sektör profesyonelleri ulaştıracağız. Takım tezgahları birçok ülke için çok stratejiktir. Hatta önemli stratejik konulardan en önemlisidir. İthalatıyla teşvik edilir. Max Holland'ın güzel bir lafı var. Takım tezgahları şöyle tarif ediyor. Etrafınızda gördüğünüz her şey ya bir takım tezgahıyla ya da bir takım tezgahı tarafından üretilmiş bir makine tarafından üretilmiştir denir. Yani tekstil ürünleri de tekstil makinesiyle yapılır ama tekstil makinesi de takım tezgahı üretilir. O yüzden üretimin annesi diyorum ben takım tezgahlarına. Otomotivden savunma sanayine, beyaz eşyadan kalıpçılığa giden makine üretimine bu tezgahlarla başlarsınız. Dolayısıyla bu teknolojiyi takip etmek çok kıymetlidir. Bugün yaşadığımız özellikle pandemiden sonra dijitalleşmenin önemiyle birlikte tam böyle bir işlere geçemesek bile bir hibrit üretim sistemine geçtik. Ve bunların endüstride kullanılabilir halleri olan robotlu otomasyon sistemleri veri toplama EMO'da, ya benim öngörüm, diğer geçmiş olan Üretim TOS'ta çok göremedik. Daha doğrusu ticarileşmemişti ama EMO'da ticarileşmiş birçok ürün göreceğimizi tahmin ediyorum. Doktor Şafir'in bahsettiği Umati beni heyecanlandırdı çünkü bizim startup'ımız var, Kapasitematik diye. Hemen hemen aynı ürün. Hatta o pistten veri almayıp kendi diğer verilerimizi yazdığımız bir ürün. Makineden dataları alıyoruz ve toplam ekipman verimini anlık olarak sunabiliyoruz. Heyecanlandım. Bir diğer startup'ımız da Parkur'da. O da takım tezgahları konusunda iş yapacak, iş alacak firmaları oluşturan bir pazar yeri. İş modelleri de zaten pazar yeri sistemlerine geçiyor. O da beni heyecanlandırdı. Belki gelecekte portal üzerinden Almanya'daki bir otomotiv üreticisi Türkiye'de bir tedarikçi bulabilecek. Yaptığımız yeniliklere baktığımda aslında Doktor Şafir'in sunumunda olan hemen hemen her şeyimizi de hazırlamışız. Türkiye fuarcılığı da Türkiye sanayisine veriyor. 30 yıl önce biz takım tezgahlı fuarlarında otelde yapardık. Fuarlarımız yoktu. Fuarcılığı da makineyi de biz Alman sanayisinden öğrendik. Türk mühendisliği Alman ekolünden gelir. 30 yıl önce manuel makinelerle üretim yapardık. Almanya bizden kat kat ilerideydi siyasi tezgah kullanımında. Ama şu anda bakıyorum Türkiye takım tezgahları kullanımında Avrupa'nın ya 3. ya 5. büyük ülkesi durumunda. Bu da demek oluyor ki yeni büyük ekonomi içerisindeyiz ama yakın zamanda aslında çok daha büyüyeceğiz. Okulda hocalarımız şey derdi, bir ekonomi, turizmde hiçbir ekonomi kalkınamaz. Kalkınacak olsaydı Hawaii dünyanın en fakir ülkelerinden birisi olmazdı derlerdi. Türkiye'de maalesef uzun yıllar üretimden uzak kaldı ama son 30 yıla baktığımızda bayağı bir yol aldı Türkiye. Bugün Avrupa'da üretebilen bütün teknolojiler artık Türkiye'de üretilebiliyor. Zaten katılımcı sayısında baktığınızda da artık Türkiye teknoloji üreten bir firma olmuş ve o da görücüye çıkıyor, bu da beni gururlandırıyor. İthalatımız 1.7 milyar dolardı. Takım tezgahları kullanımını şöyle hesaplıyoruz. Üretimle ithalatı toplayıp ihracatı çıkarıyoruz. Bu da 1.4 milyar dolarla geçen sene. Bu bizim Türkiye'nin tarihi rekoruydu. Yani Türkiye'de ekonomi nasıl ayakta duruyor diyorsanız cevabı sanayi. Yani üretimin gücünü buradan görüyoruz. O yüzden de bu çok kıymetli bir fuar. Hepiniz orada görmek isteriz. Çok teşekkür ederim.